Well, a knot, it's a mile per hour is a little bit more than a knot. It's like 1.13 miles per hour per knot.
Okay.
But what happens is that people would tend to say, well, my boat was only going like 8 or 9 knots.
Right.
Yeah, but it's 10 knots or no wake.
Yeah.
So I said, you can't go 10 knots and throw a wake.
Right.
If you're throwing a wake, that means you're going too fast. And that's the problem. People don't realize that it's one or the other. It just can't be. You can't have it both ways. Okay. So we try to tell them.
People like to have it both ways. They like their cake and their wake and all that other stuff.
That's right. So we tell them, it's no wake. We try to tell them just headway speed, what it takes to get your boat to move through the water.
Okay.
And that's the good speed to go. Okay. So a headway speed, meaning just the amount of speed you need to move through the water, not create, you're able to steer the boat. Because some boats can't steer if they're not going fast enough.
Right.
So with that in mind, we say headway speed. That's the amount of speed you need in order to make headway through the water and retain steerage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot tonight, by the way.
You always do.
Yeah, I always do with you. I learn. So, is that how you determine speed with a boat? Do you tell by the wake, or you guys don't have? I know I've asked you this before about like a radar gun or something.
Yeah.
How do you determine whether or not someone's going? Is it just by looking at the wake?
You could tell how fast they're moving through the water. If they're throwing a wake and we're in the inner harbor, they're going too fast.
Okay.
Right away, it's absolutely no wake in the inner harbor, and if there's any wake coming off the back of that boat,
they're getting pulled over.
Yep.
And do they have to pull the right as they would in traffic?
Well, unfortunately, there's no lanes out there.
No roads.
So there's no marked lanes in the middle of the harbor, so they just stop where they are, and most of the time. Although today was funny because we were just finishing up our dive operation, and there's some guy coming through the mooring field, throwing a wake, put the siren on. He's just like not paying attention. We were within like 15 feet of this guy, and he just didn't even notice us with the siren blaring, the horn blaring.
Do you have I mean, I know if anyone's seen the boat, it's distinctive looking, it's Boston Police boat, obviously, but do you have a distinctive siren or anything like that? Or
we have a regular siren like you would have out in the street.
The cruiser.
And we have an air horn that, that can get the attention, and we have a PA system that we're calling. And this guy was just not paying attention. I mean, it's to the point where he didn't even hear our siren telling him to try and get his attention. And finally, we had to come right up on top of him and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Bro.
I was in a conversation. I didn't, I said, well.
Right.
So then we just had to explain to him the law and
education.
We ended up having to write it down for him.
Okay. Right. All right. Write it down. I got you. We only have a couple of minutes. It's unbelievable.
You're kidding.
When you come on. No, I'm not kidding. Life preservers, I'm a big fan of.
Absolutely.
You obviously are too.
Absolutely.
An opportunity to remind people about the importance of life preservers and who needs to have one.
Right.
And who is it?
Anybody under 12 has to wear a life preserver.
Okay, under 12, regardless of how big you are, how much you weigh.
Yep,
boom,
that's
you're wearing
it.
life.
You're wearing it, and that's a requirement.
Okay.
Anybody over 12, they have the discretion of whether to wear it, but you have to have a life preserver for every person on that boat, and it has to be one that fits that person. Okay. So you can't have like a child life preserver for a guy my size.
Right. Can't be the one you brought to the show last time you were here.
That's right. That's right. And we have...
Which somebody refused to model, but we won't get into that right now.
And we have life preservers for people if they have a guest and they don't have a child life preserver with them.
Yeah.
We have that program where we loan out life preservers for kids, and you just come and see us. Call that number, 343-4721.
So if you're a mom, dad, nana, grandpa, aunt, uncle, you're taking your kids out in your boat, you don't have life preservers, stop by the Harbor Patrol, see Sergeant Phil Terenzi, and you guys actually loan out?
We loan them out, and just bring them back, and that's fine. And it's like people have their grandkids come in for the weekend, and they have a boat, and they say, "Oh, gee, I don't have any kids' life preservers because we don't normally have kids."
Right.
So this gives them an opportunity to make sure that they're in compliance with the law. Let the kids wear their life jacket. They're safe. That's what we want. We want people to boat safely. That's what we're all about.
Brother, you are the essence of community policing, as far as I'm concerned. Education prior to the enforcement, making sure people are safe and having fun.
Absolutely.
Are we done? Any more time? These guys are like, take as much time as you want. Because Charlotte's not here. They want me to wrap it up. Any last thing you want to touch on before we go?
No, I think there was more stuff we wanted to talk about. You'll have to have me back. We'll talk more and next time.
Terenzi Take 2.
All right.
Next week. Phil Terenzi, always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching tonight's show. We'll see you next week. Till then, have a great week. Be safe. Good night, everybody.